You better watch out, cause they gave us a buff, and that's just what we needed to get back up, cause we fell down, straight down to diamond. But don't look now, cause when we put the time in, we're bound to be climbing. Here comes wing attack. Here comes wing attack. We don't look back. Here comes wing attack. Here comes wing attack. Oh, here comes wing attack.
Welcome back to another Wing Attack video here. This is cycle 3 of season 2, and we're going to go ahead and get right into it in the diamond tier. Unfortunately dropped down, but have a big plan to climb back up, and we got to start it this week against Northeast Battlers. And to kick off the week, we have Things Cats Can't Eat against Bout's guy in the Ember field, where Bout's Gligar gets the boost on the very first Night Slash, which is unfortunate here, but able to tank that okay. Gonna throw the Blast Burn at their Charizard and get the shield back. So won the lead, even shields, feeling pretty good here, but Charizard with energy is a bit of a menace. Coming in Poliwrath, and we can tank all of these moves pretty comfortably. And good attempt at a catch, but we were patient with our energy and just have them a champ to answer this Poliwrath and able to tank this Dynamic Punch no problem. No threat of being farmed down with mud shots, and just see where they want to use their shield. It seems to not be on the Poliwrath here, just going to put everything on the Charizard for them to try to win with some more energy lead. But here the hope is that we can get to 2 Scalds, and there's 1 to take the shield, and 2, and we shield up their move on the CMP tie and have just enough health to get this second Scald off and take that game. And here we have Things Cats Can't Eat, giving us a 2-1 lead to start the bout. Moving over to Master League, here we have Shelmick07 against Frostfire 14. I'm going to safe swap the Mewtwo to draw out this Gira, because it's basically the only thing that Kyogre really doesn't want to see in the back, and that works perfectly, winning the CMP tie. And just going to let this go. Lost switch, but have the shield advantage, and Florges is a great counter to this Gira. Gonna tank this first move probably. Yeah, just gonna tank this first move, which we can do pretty comfortably, and put everything on the Kyogre to sweep the end game, landing the Disarming Voice, and in comes a Melmetal, which is really bad news for that Florges, so I have to get out of there and take the shield advantage to the end game against the Xerneas. Xerneas takes a while to get to its moves and only knows nukes, and so definitely going to have to shield this one, and barely able to farm down before they get to a next move. In against this Melmetal, as long as it's not Thunderbolt, then we're looking okay. Throwing here with good timing, you'll love to see it. Maximizing the energy gain and landing this Surf. And here we just don't want to get farmed down, so switching over into the Florges to throw this Moonblast. Is this enough to KO? Barely not. Gonna try to Fairy Wind this down, and we can't, but this Melmetal is very low, and 1 Waterfall will kill. So off to a strong start with a 4-2 lead, moving back to the Ember field with Rubik's Master against J Mills, and they safe swap their Poliwrath, and we were projecting that this was going to be a Scald Ice Punch Poliwrath, so we win the mirror here pretty comfortably since we're rocking the Dynamic Punch. And no real need to shield this at all since it's just a Scald, could probably barely tank 1 more. Here winning the CMP tie, throwing our own Scald because it would do enough to KO and potentially get the drop. And yeah, just this Poliwrath is going off right now. Pretty squishy Quillfish and already in the red. Don't really want to take an Ice Beam, don't want to take a Shadow Ball, but here Gligar is the thickest of the remaining bunch, and it's just an Aqua Tail, so able to get this Night Slash off, which should be enough to KO before they get to another move. And in the back is their Charizard, our full health Charizard, our half health Gligar, and at this point After letting that Night Slash through, we can just wing attack down. Here comes wing attack, am I right? Down. There, shiny Charizard goes. Rubix was able to get us 1 point, and it is 5-4. Moving over into my battles in the Great League. Dominant lead there. Pretty dominant switch in. At this point we knew that it wasn't running Wild Charge, and so I'm gonna just go ahead and throw the Sludge to take the shield advantage or knock it out. Didn't want to have to go down shields. And the Frostlass comes back in to get ahead on energy, probably just farming all the way down. But at this point, gonna throw the Sludge because it does a little bit more than the Mud Bomb. And in comes Umbreon. Umbreon can tank 3 avalanches, no problem. And in the back is a Medi. Just a pretty hard RPS situation here. And this Ninetales is gonna be able to shield the Dynamic Punch, which is definitely a surprise. And then we can either shield here and farm down, or let it go and farm down with the Umbreon. Basically, no risk either way. I was able to get 1 point in the Great League, so we are tied 6-6. Hopping over into the Vanguard field now with Rhyblet against Nightmare 10-16. Very solid lead with the Coffin into the Gallade with shields up. Good response here with the Stunfisk into the Noctowl. And at this point we can tank this, but if they do want to shield up twice, then they could flip switch and get the Gallade off of that, but not going to want to do that. Just going to get a little bit of energy lead here. Gallade with energy lead and shields is pretty strong, but again, Coffin can tank one move very comfortably. Not wanting to let that happen though, save a little bit of energy, and the Celio is in the back, so good that we kept this alive a little bit. And here going to try and catch an Aurora Beam on the Walrein. Unable to do so, but that's okay. Walrein is so tanky, and here the win condition, we're probably just looking to save that final shield for the Cofagrigus and clean up everything in the back. Big Earthquake lands. They're going to need 2 more Body Slams to KO, but they actually bring back in the Gallade, and we're able to get off this last second Weather Ball, which is huge. And at this point, Gallade is not able to get to a move, and the Celio doesn't have nearly enough energy to get through the Cofagrigus, and Rhyblet was able to take 1 point, so we're down 7-8 going into the last 2 matchups, and WinstontheChamp here against ElCalvisimo. And great lead here with the Stunfisk into Dragalge. Probably would have hoped to have the Walrein here instead, but this is also great. Gonna take the shield first, and since they've already spent the shield, what do we want to do? Yeah, gonna go ahead and shield the first one just in case it was an outrage. No shield the second one, and we can get to this Mud Bomb to either take the last shield or take them out, and we do take them out. And in comes a Celio. We've seen this before. And gonna get to this last second discharge, which is gonna be huge. Have to make a bit of a call in the back. Are we gonna see the Shadow Gallade this time maybe? Just gonna bring in the Walrus to soak all this energy from the Celio. Again, they need like 6 Body Slams to finish this off, maybe 5. And over farming so that they don't catch on something. And here before they get to it, and it turns out they do catch on the Shadow Charizard, but it is so squishy that Earthquake does half, and we can farm this all the way down, shield this move, and then have a ton of energy to unload on that Celio, who's already pretty low. And that was a good play by Calvisimo to try and find any win condition, but these 2 Dark Pulses are going to be just enough to take out the Celio, and we move into Ultra League. So Winston was able to get us 3 points, so we are up 10-8, just needing 1 more to close out the bout, and had a terrible lead with the Mandibuzz into the Walrein, and a pretty terrible safe swap here with the Cofagrigus responding to our Galvantula, but gonna go ahead and debuff it first and then land the discharge, hoping to get to one more, and it looks like we were gonna get there, so they throw their energy, and at this point, able to bait out the Cofagrigus so that the Sirfetch'd didn't have to see it, and Mandibuzz can tank so many moves from this Cofagrigus. They need about 20. And here the Walreign's probably going to come back in, just bring in Sirfetch'd, and looks like they were ABA weak to Sirfetch'd, and hopefully this feisty bird can clean up. Going to win the CMP tie against the Swampert, and because of that little bit of energy lead, this probably will work out pretty well. Here the Swampert is out of shields, just gonna shield this one up and able to land the final move before they get to theirs because of that energy lead from swapping in before, and now the Walrein is gonna have to get to 3 moves against the Mandibuzz, probably 1 here, plus some Powder Snows. Look at that Sirfetch'd pose, landing the Leaf Blade and winning us the bout.
Here comes Wing Attack. Oh,